Inside the $2 billion crypto scam you never heard of. What if I told you that one of the biggest financial scams in modern history, worth over $2 billion, slipped quietly under the radar, and you've probably never even heard of it? A fraud so carefully engineered, so dazzling in its promises, and so devastating in its collapse, that it destroyed lives across continents. A scandal hidden in plain sight, fueled by the golden promise of cryptocurrency, but built on nothing more than smoke and mirrors. This is not just another story about greed. This is the story of CryptoVision, a name that once carried hope and now carries heartbreak. A project that claimed to revolutionize wealth, only to strip away the futures of thousands who believed in it. And at the center of it all, one man, a charismatic figure who called himself Alexander Varga. Today, we'll dive deep into the rise and fall of a crypto empire that promised riches beyond imagination, fooled investors worldwide, and vanished almost overnight. From its mysterious founder, to its secret money trails, to the shocking truth investigators uncovered, this is the untold story of how greed, technology, and deception collided to create one of the darkest chapters in digital finance. Our story begins during the explosive boom of cryptocurrency in the mid-2010s. Bitcoin was no longer a geek experiment traded in obscure forums. It was a global sensation. Headlines screamed about ordinary people turning small savings into life-changing wealth. College kids who mined Bitcoin in their dorm rooms were suddenly millionaires. Wall Street, once skeptical, was now paying attention. To many, crypto wasn't just a financial tool, it was a revolution. A promise of freedom from banks, governments, and traditional systems. And in this chaotic, feverish atmosphere, countless new projects emerged. Some were genuine attempts to innovate. Others were wolves in digital clothing. Enter Alexander Varga. Little is truly known about Varga's early life. Some reports suggest he was born in Eastern Europe, perhaps Hungary, though no official records confirm it. Others believe his name itself was an alias, one of many he used over the years. What we do know is that he appeared seemingly out of nowhere in 2016, presenting himself as a financial prodigy. He was tall, sharply dressed, and spoke with the kind of confidence that makes you believe he already knows the ending to every story. In videos, he often smiled directly into the camera, saying lines like, "Trust me, I've cracked the code of the crypto market." He branded himself as a savior for small investors. Not a cold Wall Street banker, but a man of the people. He claimed he had built an AI-driven trading system, a piece of software that could predict crypto price swings with near-perfect accuracy. The name of his platform? CryptoVision. CryptoVision wasn't pitched as a get-rich-quick scheme. That was its brilliance. It was packaged as technology meets opportunity. The marketing materials were glossy, futuristic, filled with glowing charts and buzzwords like blockchain analytics, machine learning, and predictive modeling. The promise was simple: invest with CryptoVision, and your money would double in 6 months. Withdraw anytime, no hidden fees. Varga and his team claimed they weren't gamblers. They were visionaries using cutting-edge tools to make markets predictable. And people bought into the dream. Literally. From Lagos to London, Sao Paulo to Singapore, the money poured in. Families mortgaged their homes. Students emptied savings. Retirees handed over pensions. Online forums were filled with glowing testimonials. "I invested $500 and made $1,000 in half a year. CryptoVision changed my life." By the end of its first year, CryptoVision had nearly 500,000 investors. Funds totaled in the billions. But beneath the glossy website, the sleek dashboards, and the endless promises, there was nothing. No algorithm. No trading. No secret financial formula. CryptoVision was running a classic Ponzi scheme. Here's how it worked. New investors put money in. A portion of that money was used to pay returns to older investors. The rest was siphoned off into hidden accounts controlled by Varga. The fake dashboard always showed profits. The graphs always trended upward. Investors could even make small withdrawals, which convinced them it was real. But it was an illusion. As long as fresh money kept flowing, the illusion held. Varga's genius wasn't in technology. It was in psychology. He understood greed. He understood trust. And he knew that if he wrapped his scam in the shiny clothes of cryptocurrency, very few would question it. And to cement the illusion, Varga lived the part. He filmed himself boarding private jets, walking through luxury villas, standing beside Lamborghinis. If this were fake, he would laugh, "Would I really show you all this?" But no illusion lasts forever. By 2018, whispers of trouble began. Investors reported delays in withdrawals. A few complained that the support numbers didn't work. Some tried to visit the global offices listed on the website, only to find rented spaces with no employees. Then came the whistleblower, a young software engineer hired to maintain CryptoVision's trading platform, revealed the shocking truth: there was no algorithm. The trading graphs shown to investors were nothing more than stock footage and Excel animations. The so-called AI system was a front, a sophisticated PowerPoint presentation posing as innovation. Still, the hype continued. People wanted to believe. Regulators in Germany, Singapore, and Brazil began investigating after waves of complaints. What they found was staggering. No verifiable trading records. Fake addresses and non-existent subsidiaries. A labyrinth of shell companies stretching from the Caribbean to Eastern Europe. And yet, money continued to pour in. Varga was too convincing, his empire too well-branded. Then, just as the walls closed in, Varga vanished. In early 2019, CryptoVision suddenly froze withdrawals. The website posted a vague message: "System upgrades. Please be patient." Days later, Varga's mansion in Dubai stood empty. His private jet had flown out days earlier. Destination unknown. Authorities scrambled. Investigators followed digital trails leading to offshore accounts, gold purchases, luxury properties. But Varga had planned well. Money was moved through crypto mixers, layered through shell corporations, funneled into assets that vanished as quickly as they appeared. Out of $2 billion invested, more than half simply disappeared. Behind the numbers were real people. In Lagos, a young mother of 3 invested her husband's pension. She lost everything. In Berlin, a retired teacher who had spent 40 years saving for retirement handed over his life savings, gone. In Sao Paulo, entire communities had pooled their money into CryptoVision, believing it was a ticket to freedom. When it collapsed, friendships shattered, families broke apart. On online forums, victims shared stories of despair. Some spoke of suicide, others of sleepless nights, endless shame. One investor wrote, "It wasn't just my money he stole. He stole my future." When Europol released their findings, the world was stunned. CryptoVision was nothing but smoke. The AI algorithm never existed. The offices were staged. The investors shown in glossy ads? Paid actors from online casting sites. And Varga? Europol revealed he had a history of fraud under at least 3 different names. He was not a visionary. He was a serial con artist, a man who had spent decades perfecting the art of illusion. Yet he was gone. Rumors swirled. Some claimed Varga was hiding in Eastern Europe, living under a new identity. Others believed he had cut deals with powerful figures who now protected him. A few even suggested he had undergone surgery to change his appearance. To this day, no one knows for sure. So what can we learn from this? The $2 billion crypto scam wasn't just about money. It was about trust. It revealed the vulnerabilities of a financial world moving faster than the laws meant to govern it. And it showed that in the age of digital finance, deception has become more sophisticated than ever before. The victims are still waiting for justice. Many will never see their money again, but their stories remain a warning. Behind every glittering promise of easy wealth lies a shadow waiting to be exposed. This was the $2 billion crypto scam you never heard of. A story of money, power, and deception. If you found this story shocking, subscribe now for more secrets of wealth, crime, and corruption, only on Dark Wealth Files.